My father was Vietnam. I remember about 1992.
Well, I guess I think I don't know. I think a story or something that's important to know is if you haven't ever been to a base town, that you should go and visit one. Because they may not be what you expect. Clean Texas. Car stores, cigarettes, sunrises, pawn shops, smoke shops, liquor stores, bars, empty buildings. There's a lot of empty buildings. Last Sunday, I was driving on Fort Hood to go pick up a young man named Corey Stenhouse. Actually, I probably he had been AWOL for almost 2 years. After he came home on leave from Serbia and Iraq, he had been in an explosion, and his hearing and his back were severely injured, and he was limping around, and he was sent home on leave, and he was supposed to go back. Instead of going back, he stayed so he could get medical treatment, and after getting the medical treatment, he just never went back. And just a month ago, the police stormed his house and arrested him, and they brought him back to Fort Hood. And I was going to pick him up just so he could get off post for a little bit and get a haircut and pick up some groceries. And it's just interesting being on post because there's 55,000 soldiers there, and I'm watching this group of GIs cross the street, and they're all carrying their weapons. There's maybe 100 of them. It's a Sunday night. There's a young woman holding onto this man's hand, kind of clasping it really, really tightly. And it seemed like everyone was kind of standing around and joking, and it wasn't just a normal conversation though, because they were all getting deployed that night to Iraq. And it's just awkward that you're there and you see all these soldiers, and the normalcy of watching so many people get sent over. The normal needs that they have, whether it's needing a meal or having a headache or just wanting to hold someone's hand. And I was thinking with Corey about how, we never really wanted to be back in this place, but here we are. So that's my story. About going back to a place that you never really want to go back to.
Sounds like a very important story because it still goes on.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. The first cav is deploying to Iraq, and it's just, most people in the nation don't really know what's going on with them. Most people don't know that we're GIs, or they don't realize how many soldiers are being deployed, basically, and where they're going, and how normal it is for them because they spend more time deployed than they have at home. Every time they get home, they have a month off, and then they basically get ready to mobilize again. We were doing outreach on post that whole week, and it's just interesting, that night that those soldiers were deploying, I was at the PX collecting signatures for our Operation Recovery campaign.
And this is still in Clean, Texas?
Yeah, this is on Fort Hood. This is at the, outside the PX. And I was asking GIs to sign on the pledge to support the campaign, and some of the soldiers stopped and they're like, "Yeah, I'm getting deployed tonight." And I know GIs are connected with this issue. doing anything about it? Well, no, they're too busy. GIs that are, other GIs that are, two people said, oh, well, I've got PTSD. I was like, oh yeah, well, what's your story? Like, are you just getting home from deployment? They're like, no, we leave next week. And
Just within a week.
they're just, going to the PX to, get a burger before they have to go get on a plane to go overseas. That's what they're doing with their last few hours. And then there's something like very powerful in it. Just those last few minutes. What are you doing before you go over to this place where your life is going to change? And it has been changing. I don't really know what that is. I don't think that's really a story. It's just like this moment where it's just something haunting. And I don't think much of this country really knows it or experiences it.
Is that all you'd like to say?
Yeah, maybe for right now.
For right now.
Not a very exciting story, but I think it's a sad one.